In this module, you will learn how to install the architectural components that support automated service development and delivery. Here are the things you should be able to do at the end of this module. The vRealize Automation Installation Wizard provides two modes of installation based on your deployment requirements. You can choose to perform a minimal deployment or distribute components over separate servers in a custom distributed installation. A minimal deployment is the quickest way to install vRealize Automation. Minimal deployments are appropriate for proofs of concept or development environments with a basic topology. A minimal deployment deploys a single instance of the vRealize Automation appliance and installs all Infrastructure as a Service components on a single Windows Server machine. You can install the databases on the same Windows machine or on a dedicated SQL server. Agent and Distributed Execution Manager's installation varies according to the requirements of the site. Click any component to learn more about it. Enterprise deployments include redundancy for high availability and disaster recovery. The system administrator chooses a distribution architecture that is compatible with the business environment and goals. For high availability deployments, load balancers can distribute the workload across the computing environment. Load balancers are outside of the vRealize automation framework. All services are automatically clustered when they are deployed in a high availability configuration. When planning an enterprise deployment, be sure to review VMware's official documentation for supported architectures and load balancing best practices. To access the documentation, click the Resources tab. Here are the minimum requirements to deploy the vRealize Automation Virtual Appliance and install the Infrastructure as a Service component. The appliance is a pre-configured virtual machine that you add to your VMware vCenter server or VMware ESXi inventory. Infrastructure as a Service components are installed on physical or virtual Windows servers. To access the most recent and complete list of vRealize automation installation requirements, click the Resources tab. The vRealize Automation Installation Wizard provides a simple and fast way to install vRealize Automation. To watch a short video that shows how to use the Installation Wizard to install vRealize Automation, click the Resources tab.
Welcome to the vRealize Automation 7.0 installation and configuration video. vRealize Automation 7.0 has greatly simplified initial installation and configuration through the introduction of a simplified deployment architecture with less components, embedded authentication service, and wizard-based automated install. All of these new capabilities help accelerate time to value by as much as 6 times for simple deployments and over 50% for enterprise highly available configurations. In this video, we're going to focus on the new wizard-based install and configuration. Then we will walk through an actual installation of the product. The vRealize Automation installation is a wizard that walks you through all of the configurations to quickly stand up your environment. For a simple, non-distributed instance to a more complex, highly available environment, it can all be configured throughout this wizard. It also gives you an opportunity to test your configuration and deployment. As you navigate through the wizard, it will automatically determine which Windows machines are available based on a management agent that lives on this Windows server. It also allows you to have different deployment types, a minimal deployment which can be rapidly stand up in about 15 minutes. All is needed is the vRealize Automation virtual appliance and a Windows-based server. This will be an ideal environment for a development on vRealize Automation. You also have the option of deploying an enterprise environment, which is the highly available production-ready type architecture. Now let's go ahead and walk you through an actual installation of vRealize Automation 7 on a development environment. So after deploying the virtual appliance, we'll go ahead and log in as the root user, and the installation wizard automatically gets launched. We'll go ahead and click Next here. We'll read through the end user license agreement and accept it. Then we get presented with 2 deployment types, the minimal deployment and the enterprise deployment. In this example, we're going to go through and do a minimal deployment. Now we need to install the management agent on the Windows box. So we go ahead and copy the link here and we'll download it on the Windows box. This agent is located on the vRealize Automation appliance, and all we have to do is execute this as an administrator on the Windows box. We'll go through the configuration here, and it's quite straightforward. We have to provide the vRealize appliance address, so it's the full qualifying name. And then we're going to load the certificate fingerprint. We'll confirm that that is correct, and then we'll enter the information for the service account that is going to be running the management agent. And now we're completed. If we go back to the wizard, we notice that now we have been discovered an IIS host. So we'll go ahead and click Next here. And then we can run a prerequisite checker on the Windows box. So there are specific things that need to be set up on the Windows box. This is done automatically by the wizard. We'll go ahead and provide the vRealize Automation host information and the initial password to do the initial login into vRealize Automation. We'll enter the information of the host of where we installed the management agent, and we'll enter a database security phrase. And then we'll configure the Microsoft SQL database. Again, this database is automatically created for you by the wizard. We'll go ahead and click Next here. And then we have the distributed execution managers and all the agents that are pre-configured for us. We can change them or add new ones if we want to. Then we're going to go ahead and import an appliance certificate. In this case, we generated a certificate and we import it into the wizard. And there it is, it's a confirmation. And now we're going to generate a web certificate that is required for the vRealize automation. And we'll go ahead and go through this, and we'll do a validation of all of the inputs that we enter. This validation takes about 10 minutes, and then we can take a snapshot of everything that we've done so we don't lose any work if we want to. We'll go ahead and continue next, and then we can go through the installation. The installation takes about 30 minutes. Obviously, I sped through this a little bit, that way you didn't have to wait. Once the installation is complete, we'll go through the initial content configuration. It automatically configures a user as well as a tenant and business groups within vRealize automation, and it allows you to import an existing vCenter as an endpoint, as well as any templates that you might have in this vCenter. So we'll go ahead and keep the same tenant, and we'll click next here. We'll enter all the information for our vCenter and execute this. And that is the initial installation and configuration of vRealize Automation 7.0. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel for further content on vRealize Automation 7.0.